Welcome back to the Speak Your Truth podcast. My name is Jaya Rose. I am your host today, and I am a brand growth coach specializing in speaking, storytelling, and sharing your sacred work, sharing and selling your sacred work. And this episode is very near and dear to my heart because I love talking about storytelling. And I love that storytelling creates such connection and a beautiful pathway from the transformation you've had to sharing that as a bridge and a solution for your soulmate clients and your soul fans to recognize that you got the answers, honey. So we're going to be talking about 5 different storytelling strategies you can use to stand out in the marketplace. Grab a pen and paper. This is going to be fast, furious, in a Zen way. And it's only 20 minutes. So note that it is a live video and I do chat with my audience. But if you are mastering live video or using live video to teach, then you could use this as a teaching moment as well, because this is something that I do regularly is teach online. And this is a beautiful way to share your work. So I hope that inspires you in some way as well to be more visible and share, yes, your story, but also your work with the world. All right. So I'll see you on the other side. Rather, I'll see you on the inside. Hello. Welcome. I think I'm live. I have never done this from my computer, actually maybe once. And it's so funny because I started teaching live video over 4 years ago. And it's just hysterical to me when I find something that I'm like, actually, I have no idea what I'm doing. So hello, nice to meet you. Okay, so let me make sure everything looks good here. I can't see you yet, so make sure to say hello as you hop on. Let me know you can see me and hear me and all the things. I'm going to share with you, actually, I have 5 different strategies I'm going to share with you, so get a pen and paper, sis, because I'm going to lay it down for you, and you're going to walk away today in 20 minutes from now with some super tangible, really kind of easy things to implement around sharing your story. Okay. Are you ready for that? Put a number 1 in the comments if you have a personal brand. Okay. Put a number 2 in the comments if you know that storytelling is super valuable in building that personal brand. And put a number 3 if you are ready to learn some awesome soul-led strategies. Hello, Lamorla. How are you? Welcome, beautiful. All right, so make sure you say hello to me so I know who I'm talking to. I ask you those questions specifically on purpose so that I can relate to you and meet you right where you are. So I'm going to share with you 5 different ways that you can start to use your story, whether you already are using it. I will also share with you that we always need new and innovative ways because there is this misconception that you just need one story. Have you heard this before? Like once you have a brand story, you just need a brand story. And I've seen this in so many programs. In fact, I've been asked to come in and speak in different people's masterminds to teach people about sharing their story. And there's always this intention like you're only going to have one. And the truth is that you don't have one story. Like, give me a break. You are multifaceted. You have lived a rich life and you have many, many stories. Something we need to consider within these many, many stories is that, of course, not all of them are relevant. One of the key questions I have people ask me is, how do I pick a story? Well, something we want to think about is that you more want a story thread and a theme to the stories. So it's not that you just need one story that says, oh, I went from point A to point B, and that's the story of my brand. But it's that you have many stories that can go in order even, but can also be used in these different ways. I'm going to share with you how to use them. So I just want to wake you up to this idea. Like, it's not just one brand story we're going for here. It's literally just being a relatable person. That's what it's about. Let's take the mystique away. It's about having a brand that represents you. My personal tagline, because I am a speaking, storytelling, and visibility coach, is I help you get seen for being you. Share your story and grow your business both online and from stage. And the reason that I say that is because all anybody wants is for you to be you. And there is so much cookie cutter, facade, not real feeling brands and products in the marketplace. So you have this opportunity to show up and stand out by being more you. And that is what storytelling does. It automatically authenticates you as a person. And then it also authenticates, meaning validates, the message that you're sharing. Let me know in the comments if you want an example, because I'd be happy to do like a quick little story example for you of how I would use one. And then I'm also going to share with you these 5 different strategies. Okay, so just say example in the comments. And then I also want to tell you guys that I am opening up a flash sale for 3 of my most popular storytelling courses, and they are going to be an insane deal. So if you want to hear about that, stick around to the end or just say storytelling in the comments and I will grab you the link and you can check it out. Okay? All right. So here are the 5 different ways that I love to use story in my brand and that really help me get into that connective place with my audience. I call my audience soul fans, and this is what it does. It creates that soul connection of like, I see you, I recognize you. So Jane says example. Cool. All right, I'll do one for you. Here are the 5 ways, okay? So let me just give these to you right away. So one is just a post. I often do story posts. So instead of this value content, like you learn this in a lot of marketing. If you haven't learned this, well, you might learn it later. People say, oh, you want to make a valuable post, tell people what you do, tell people what problem you solve, or give them a quick tip. Now that's awesome and true. But also you can just share a story, like an authentic story. And I give you an example of one you could do, some edge that you're coming up against, because so much of leadership is around our edges. And the edge that we are currently on oftentimes is an edge that people who we are going to lead really just to get to that edge. So we want to talk about like outcomes. I'm going to make you make so much money, all that. But like, here's the truth. I'm going to take you to the edge of your comfort zone. So when you share a story about being on the edge of your comfort zone, people relate and it holds you in a high regard because 1, you're being vulnerable, and 2, you're coming from a place that they want to be. They know that they need to do this thing too. So here's your example, Jane. So Edith says storytelling, the more, okay, I'll get that flash sale to you guys, the link for that. Just say story or storytelling and I'll get that for you after. Okay. So one thing that has been coming up for me personally is that I was really ready to make a big commitment in my business. Have you ever had this happen where you're like, I know that I'm just on the edge of something, but if I don't invest in myself and ask for support, I might just stay small. So I personally have a tendency to stay small, even though here I am on a video and I'm teaching you storytelling and visibility, yay me. But guess what? The reason I teach this is because it's freaking hard for me. And it was really hard for me years ago before I had practiced and implemented now what I teach. Just this last week, I came up against this edge where I was like, I need to invest in something. And I had a call with a coach. She pitched me her program. And right away, I got that feeling of like total resistance. And I knew it was the edge of excitement and fear. Have you had that before where you're like, okay, I'm so excited and I'm so freaking scared? It's the simultaneous feeling that only going to your edge, the edge of your comfort zone, can give you. This is just this last week for me. I said yes to working with this coach. And I want to share with you that I needed to work through so much of my own resistance. So if you're going through something where you're ready to make a big commitment and invest in something that you know is going to take you outside your comfort zone, then I just want to tell you, you can do it, because every time we do it, we build a new muscle, and then we are able to reach farther than we ever thought we could. Okay, so that's an example of a story. You're like, wait, now I'm all in your story. Okay, so that was an example of a quick story that I tell tell me in the comments, does that make you feel more trust for me? Like, do you feel kind of like you might know me a little bit better than if I were to just tell you I'm an expert and give you all of my awesome wisdom? That is the intention. That is the intention behind story. Let me see in your comments. So tell me in the comments, I'm watching over here, to see if that resonated with you, because that's something you can do in a post. You can tell the edge that you're at and then position it. And then did you see how I positioned it as a little lesson? Like I turned it back on you and I shared a message with you. So Jane says, for sure. Exactly. So what I did is I authenticated myself to be an authentic person. And I also validated my message. In that moment, my message was, you can do it, right? We can stretch beyond our comfort zone and reach new places that we never thought we could. And that message is so much more valuable when you have context. So another really great way to think about it is you're just giving context. You're just doing it in the form of your own life because you have a personal brand. Okay? So you can do that in a post. I love sharing stuff like that in a post. Then you can add a call to action at the end of it and say, well, if you're ready to step out of your comfort zone, I have a beautiful offer for you. And it can roll right into a call to action. Hold on a sec. Hey, honey. Would you close this door for me, please? Charlie opened it. My puppy came in, and now my husband is getting a lesson on storytelling. Okay, let me see your comments here. Okay, so Edith says, definitely. I think I saw that one. All right, so we can do that in a post. We can do that in a live video. Thank you. Another way that you can use story like this is in an interview. And this is something people miss a lot. So are you being asked to be on interviews for podcasts? And if not, that's okay, but you're headed there. And this is really helpful. So when somebody asks you, what do you do? Instead of just saying, well, I went to school for this and I'm an expert at this, you can weave a story in. This is a really awesome tip. So I recommend writing this down. Instead of saying your credentials, you could say something like, well, I work with clients who, and describe the clients. So I'll give you an example. I specifically work with transformational leaders, people who have a big mission on their heart and know that they are meant to be on stage, know that they are meant to be speaking their truth and sharing their message in a big way, but they just don't have the skills yet. So I come in and I teach them how to clarify their message, identify their stories, and have the framework to be able to put a talk together for any place they go, whether online or in real life. Now, I want to share with you one special client that I had, and then I could go into a story about a client. And what this does, it's so powerful because people are used to hearing on interviews, people talk about themselves and they're like, well, I did this and I did that. And I'm just like, God, I'm freaking tired. Like I'm asleep. Okay. Cause it was boring. But like, give me a case study about one of your clients. Guess what? Now I want to be your client. If I resonate, and if I were to go in and I were to say, I want to tell you about this beautiful client, Mandy. She actually just took my embodied speaking course. And I want to share with you what happened for her. And then I go into her story. I won't do it now for sake of time, but you can see the richness and the depth of your work. Oh my gosh, it makes me emotional because it's so true. And I think that as women, sometimes we're so afraid to show these vulnerable parts of ourselves and to talk about ourselves. I know that one of the huge resistances I had before I took my business online was even talking about myself. I thought it was rude. I thought it was selfish. I thought I was boasting. And the reality is that you are aligning yourself to help more people when you talk about yourself. But you're not just talking about yourself when you're telling a story. And this is the misconception. So I hope you're seeing that. Okay, so moving on, just one more thing I just want to share with you is that you also can use your story and different pieces of your story in assets for your brand assets. So that could look like a brand video. And if you want to see an example of a brand video, I actually have one on my website. And you can just, if somebody would type this into the comments, thejayarose.com, JAYAROSE, and you can go to my, I think it's my my story page. So just click on my story once you get there and you can watch my brand video. So you know what I'm talking about. You'll see I tell my signature brand story inside that brand video. And that is so powerful because it's such a better indication of who I am over just saying what I do. So this is an amazing brand asset that automatically elevates your brand. Okay. Another thing you could do is a sales video. A sales video is an awesome place to share a story. And people don't teach this because they tell you just want to talk about the outcome and you just want to talk about the results and blah, blah, blah. But guess what? People want to know you and they want to know what's possible. So this is actually something I teach inside my embodied speaker program. And it's about creating a contractible and expandable framework for your story. Because there are times that you might have a keynote on stage and you have 20 minutes to share your story. And you're like, woo, it's so spacious and awesome. But in a brand video or in a sales video, I want you to tell a 1-minute version of that story. So you can find another example of that. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think it's visible. I could put the link for you here, but I have a sales video where I also do this. It's nice to see examples, isn't it? So these are the 5 things that I'm sharing with you. A post with a story about being on the edge, your edge, and then pull people back in, put a call to action, and show people why you are fully capable of leading them. Okay? 2, you could also do that on a live video. The interviews that I talked about being on a podcast and sharing a client testimonial or a client journey story versus just saying what you do. Super awesome. Okay. And then the other thing is the brand assets. So those brand video and the sales video. And these are all ways that you can use your story that will make you stand out in the marketplace because guess why? Other people aren't doing it. And even if they are, even when you go to my page and you watch my story, I am literally the only one who can tell that story. The best way to stand out in the marketplace is not to try to stand out in front of people. It's to stand up and raise your hand and say, I am valuable. My stories are valuable. My message is valuable. Here I am. Period. So good, right? Okay. So Yasmin, thank you, Sophie. Edith says good points. Is it Kamala? I love, and Wild. Oh my God. Miss Wild. Can I just call you that? Because that is the best name. I kind of want to have that last name now. Do you have tips for applying this to products? I make and sell middle, high, and jewelry, and I have a hard time marketing as a need. I would say create a personal brand. Create a personal brand around your jewelry. This is really common with products. We think we are not the product. You know, we put it in a different category than us. But the reality is you make those products. That is personal to you. I want to hear your story. I want to hear those stories about the edge of when you were starting your business and what that was like for you. And you have a brand story. Why? You know, if you guys are trying to identify the stories, put storytelling in the comments and I will get you this link for this bundle that I'm putting a flash sale on. It is going to help you so much. And there is a program in there. It's a really quick little program called How to Pick a Story. And it will help you identify, well, how to pick a story, but for any platform, message, or audience. It is so good. Because the thing is that you do have a brand story that tells the story of why. So this is always the question that I want to ask you. Why do you do what you do? Why do you do that? And then you're going to answer me. And then I'm going to say, well, why does that matter? And then you're going to say, well, it matters because of this. And guess what I'm going to say? Why? And you can coach yourself with layers of why, asking yourself why, and you can get to the root. Okay, well, it's because this is really important to me Because when I was a kid, I learned that I should just be quiet and I should let everybody else have center stage because it was more important to meet other people's needs than my own. Actually, that's my story. That's why I do what I do. And when you know that, you can start to identify the stories that tie into that in your life, and people want to know that about you. Okay, that was a long-winded question. And so they have me timed in here. So you guys know I'm a part of the membership and I pay to come in here and teach you guys. Sounds weird when I say it out loud, actually. But they time me and I'm going to have to go. So what I want you to do is feel free to check out my website, thejayarose.com. There is a spot on there that says storytelling courses, and you can get a bundle of my courses. I think it's for right around $200. But I'm going to be doing a flash sale, so don't buy them. If you want access to that flash sale, say storytelling here or message me on my website and I will send you a coupon code. I'm going to be doing a crazy flash sale on them, and you can get all 3 bundled for such an amazing deal. And it will teach you how to pick a story. It will teach you different story strategies for using online. And then it also will teach you my storytelling framework. So how to actually identify the pieces of the story that are important to tell. You will be off to the races with the rest of these tips that I just shared with you. So just say storytelling in the comments or reach out to me. So much love. I'm really excited to connect with you guys. I will also put my Facebook group above. I'll do that right now and edit it, but I have a free Facebook group where I'm going to be doing tons of content around speaking and storytelling this month, the month of October. And it's called Speak Your Truth for Transformational Leaders. So come on over there, Speak Your Truth. Just look it up. And you also can click on my cover photo. I'm giving you like 5,000 calls to action, but you can click on my cover photo and there's a link behind that. You can find all the things if you just click on me. Okay. Sophie says storytelling. Chelsea says storytelling. Paula says storytelling. Brooke, hi Brooke, says storytelling. Camilla, is that right now? Camilla Wild. Thank you. Yes. I'm on this route. Storytelling and sharing my personal life is a big part of my brand. I love it. You're already doing it. Okay, well, this is great. All right, you guys, so much love, and I hope to connect with you really, really soon. And remember, when you move, everything moves. So make a move, honey.